Tonight, I'm sleeping on the side of a mountain in Peru.
This has got to be one of the most dangerous and unique overnight stays in the entire world. That's where I'm going to be sleeping tonight if I make it up there. There is a probability I actually don't make it up there. We're officially starting the hike up the side of the mountain. I'm a little nervous. Oh, we'll come. I mean, you guys have never had any accidents, right?
No.
This is Daniel, one of our two guys who's gonna make sure that I don't die.
You're underestimating my clumsiness.
Easy.
All right, let's go.
Relax, you're doing perfect. Don't forget to stop your carabiner. That's all.
Bye-bye, ground. I'll see you tomorrow. That is vertical.
So these pods are 400 meters above the ground, and there's 700 steps on the side of this mountain to get up there. I severely underestimated how steep the mountain would be. Based off the listing, I think most people come into this thinking it's gonna be a glamping experience, but this is a serious hike, and your life is literally on the line. At least one hook needs to be attached to the line at all times.
Would you say we're about halfway up or 1/4? A lot of the climb is just straight vertical.
With each step, the higher I went, the more scared I was. The views below me were more terrifying, but the views horizontally were just beautiful and amazing.
All right, I have to take off my jacket because I got too hot.
How fast could you climb this without any other people?
17 minutes.
17 minutes?
Yeah.
Crazy.
We are now at a hanging bridge. We gotta walk across. This is kind of scary. All right, so we're at the halfway point, which is this hanging bridge right here. It's pretty chill other than, you know, death just right below me. Wow, the views though are actually crazy. Don't look down, don't look down. Keep swimming, just keep swimming. I feel like Bear Grylls, and I don't want to feel like Bear Grylls. Has anyone ever backed out, like just decided to go back down?
I went into super speed, which basically just means I put the GoPro away so I could climb a little faster. And eventually, we reached the top.
We made it. Didn't think it was gonna be dark, but now I understand why they gave us these 50 little headlights.
It ended up taking me an entire hour and a half, almost 2 hours of climbing to get to the top. This is the main pod. This is where we're all going to be eating dinner together. I felt like I was in outer space and I had just reached the space station.
We made it.
There's a full kitchen and everything in here.
So the guides, Daniel and Diego, I didn't realize this at the time, but they had climbed up the mountain with all of the food. Not only had they brought the food up, but they also cooked it for us. An absolutely delicious 5-course meal.
How did you get the tables up here?
We attach this in a backpack, then you use the handles and then you hike up.
With the whole table?
Can you imagine about the mattress? The mattress are bigger than this.
Whoever the climber was that brought that up here, and won't forget that.
Thanks for dinner.
Okay.
Very good.
Welcome.
So we're heading to our room now. I kind of forgot that we were on the side of a mountain for a second there during dinner.
While the other guests were going down into their pods, Daniel was like, yo, dude, you're not going down there, you're going up there. Turns out that my pod was higher up than the main pod, and I had to like climb up more of the side of the mountain. And to get inside the pod, you open this hatch, then you have to climb down and into the pod. Felt like I was an astronaut again.
I've been in this harness for 4 hours now, I think. I even ate my dinner in this harness. And then that, ladies and gentlemen, is darkness. Okay, maybe I should put my harness back on. I'm sure the views are gonna be better tomorrow, and I'm pretty tired, so I think it's time for bed.
I should not have done that. I think it just shook the entire mountain. What was I thinking? Even though this does feel like an absolute, completely remote stay, I do have internet. So even though there's no Wi-Fi on board this flight, I am getting signal. The Brahma at the dunk. Now, there are 3 beds in here. I could have fit a whole squad in this pod. It's making me feel kind of lonely, but I do have to say, I feel a lot safer being the only person in this pod, because you had 1 or 2 more people, things are getting a little risky, I feel like.
I've been staring out this window for about 5 minutes, and I can confirm I have not seen a fish. There are no aquariums up here. In fact, I actually feel like I'm the one in the aquarium. Trust me, nobody wants to see fish more than I do, but I thought this was too cool of an experience. Every once in a while, it's good to put yourself in a position where you feel like a fish out of water. Wow, what a view that is to wake up to.
It's pretty cold this morning.
Everybody wants to know, how do you go to the bathroom up here? Let me show you.
Over in here
Is the bathroom.
if you want to pee, this is where you pee inside, and the pee goes down into a waste bin. Now for females, if you want to pee, you can pee in this bowl, but then you have to take the bowl and you have to pour it into there. If you want to do a number 2, you got to take one of these plastic bags. You put it in here, you do a number 2, and then you got to take the bag, you tie up your crap, and And just like crap in the real world, you send it down the drain.
Something worth noting, there is not a shower in here.
He told us that this is drinkable water. So if you need to fill up your water bottle, you can do it with this. You can also brush your teeth.
They give you some nice towels, and there's this very cute little plant. There's also a light in the bathroom, but they say that you should turn that off when you're not using it because the people in the pod below can apparently see that light while they sleep. Also, I'm pretty sure they can see me pee if they wanted to, but there's also blinds up here that you can let down and have your privacy.
Wow. That's a view.
It's 6:45. Breakfast is at 7, so it's officially time to harness back up. So every room comes equipped with a radio. Anytime you want to leave your pod, you got to radio the guides and you got to let them know. Hey guys, we're gonna come head to breakfast now. Is that cool? Okay, perfect. See you soon. Thank you. Also, anytime you leave your pod, for whatever reason, you gotta harness back on heading to breakfast. Morning. We made it to breakfast. We just had a breakfast of champions here in the main pod. This pod has like the best 360 view of everything. We got Diego and Daniel over here. They just cooked us our breakfast and they cooked us our dinner last night. You guys are multi-talented that you can climb and cook. I can barely do either of those. I love how the kitchen is built into the side of the mountain. There you can see there is like a fence, and that's to prevent any rocks from coming down and potentially hitting the pods.
Has anyone ever been up here in these pods during an earthquake?
Happened once for the strong earthquake, but it was not a big deal.
And what's the main thing supporting it? Is it the cables or is it that big red pipe? That's the sewage, I thought, right?
If you see, there are many cables where it's hanging. They have a big cable going around the pod and hooking this to the wall. Everything is supported.
Jeez, man.
Now during the daylight, this was the best way for you guys to see what I had done last night. You can see my pod there is literally just suspended off the side of the mountain. You see that orange pole? That's actually for the toilet. So the pod is not supported by that pole at all. The only thing holding up this pod are all these safety wires and cables. When you realize that, it really puts into perspective how crazy this accommodation really is. When I got here last night, it was too dark to really show you guys around, so I'm really quickly gonna point out some of the coolest details.
Up here, we have the door. This is how you enter and exit the pod. Over here, we got my stuff. You got some blankets, some hot water to make hot tea if you want. They give you some wine, some board games right there. All the pods are identical and they all sleep 4 people. So there's a single bed here, and then over here, we got a big queen bed, which has the absolutely crazy views. 3 windows, so we got 1 window here, 2 windows, and a 3rd window. You can open the window like that. Just look at this view.
So the price of this pod, I believe it's about $500 a person to stay here a night. To get the whole pod to myself cost me like $1,000 bucks. Definitely considered luxury travel. Originally I was skeptical if that was gonna be worth it, but let me tell you, it's absolutely worth every single penny. The climb alone was worth all of the money. The only thing that I do wish I had more of here at the Skylodge was time. I didn't want to leave. I actually wanted to spend more time up here. Between waking up, going to breakfast, coming back, they really don't give you much time before it's time to leave the pod. But I do understand that they have to get the rooms ready for the next guests, and of course all of that takes so much longer logistically when your rooms are 400 meters off the ground. But this was the only negative thing I could think of, and at the end of the day, if you do this, I promise it will be one of the coolest things you do in your entire life. Most people are coming to Peru to visit Machu Picchu, which is only a few hours away from here. Now, dare I say it competes against one of the 7 wonders of the world, but the Skylodge, it's putting up a really good fight. It's the sad moment when it's time to leave the pod and head back down the mountain.
Before I leave, I have the secret I haven't been telling you guys about. I brought this rock from the bottom. He looked like he was having kind of a bad day, so I decided to put him in my pocket, and I brought him all the way up here and right outside our pod. I'm gonna put it right up here so you can enjoy that view.
But there's one thing that I forgot to mention about the Skylodge that not even Machu Picchu can compete with. The third and final part of this adventure.
You literally take a zip line to get down from here. Talk about dipping in style. Uh-oh, I think I'm stuck.
Hello.
Hey. Dude, you're a beast. Thank you for saving
You
me.
are the best.
Nobody made it.
Makes me feel a little better.
Let's see if he makes it.
When I signed up for this, I thought it was going to be one long zip line, but it's actually a series of 6 zip lines, which to me adds even more value for the price I paid. When you consider that the entire experience was a climb, the overnight stay, a really high quality breakfast and dinner included, as well as a full-on zip line experience.
I'm back on the land. Well, I guess I never left land, but it felt like I did. Felt like I went to heaven and came back. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see my next video in the series, click right here.